Hmm. Let me ask you something. If someone offered you a choice, take less money every month for the rest of your life, or take more money every month for the rest of your life, which one would you pick? Obvious, right? More money every month until you die. Except here's the strange part. Hundreds of thousands of Singaporeans, when they actually get this choice through CPF Life, quietly pick the version that pays them less. Not because they're careless, not because they don't care about their future, because of one belief that feels completely logical and is almost completely wrong. Okay, let's slow down. Picture your uncle, or maybe your own father, 62 years old, sitting at the kitchen table with a CPF Life estimate letter in his hand, reading glasses pushed up on his forehead. He's comparing two numbers. One plan gives him a bit less every month. The other plan gives him a bit more. But there's a catch attached to the second one. If he passes away early, his family gets back less of what he put in. So what does he do? He picks the plan with the smaller monthly payout, because in his mind, he's protecting his children. He's making sure the money doesn't disappear. That decision feels responsible. It feels like good planning, but it might be the single most expensive mistake he makes in his entire retirement. Here's why. CPF Life isn't really a savings account. I know it feels like one because your money sits there, growing, with your name on it, but that's not actually what it is. CPF Life is insurance. Specifically, it's longevity insurance. Insurance against the risk of running out of money while you're still alive. And insurance works on a completely different logic than saving. Think about your fire insurance or your car insurance. Nobody expects to get their money back from insurance. If your flat never catches fire, you don't feel cheated that you paid premiums for nothing. That was never the point. The point was protection in case the worst happened. CPF Life works the same way, just flipped. Instead of insuring you against something bad happening, it insures you against something good happening, living a long life. Sounds strange to call long life a risk, but financially it is one. Because if you live to 90 or 95, you need money to last that long, and most people have no idea how long they'll actually live. So CPF Life pools money from everyone in the scheme. People who pass away earlier effectively support the payouts of people who live longer. That's not unfair. That's literally how every insurance pool on Earth works. But here's where the mistake happens. Many people look at that pooling and think, wait, if I die early, I'm losing money to other people. And that thought, completely understandable, completely human, pushes them toward choosing a lower monthly payout just so more of their sum gets preserved for their family if they die young. In other words, they optimize for an event they hope never happens, dying early, instead of optimizing for the event that's actually far more likely for most Singaporeans today, living a long life. And that's the trap, okay? Let's put real shape to this. Say two people, both 65, both have similar CPF retirement account balances. One chooses the plan built around leaving more behind for family. The other chooses the plan built around receiving a higher monthly income for life. For the first 10 years, the difference in their monthly payout might feel small, maybe just enough for a few extra hawker meals or topping up an MRT card without thinking twice. But retirement in Singapore isn't 10 years anymore. Many people are living into their 80s, some into their 90s. Stretch that small monthly difference across 20, 25 years, and it stops being small. It becomes the difference between comfortably covering rising costs, utilities, healthcare, the occasional grandchild's ong bao, versus quietly cutting back, month after month as prices climb and the payout stays exactly where it started. Here's the part that surprises people most. The plan with the highest monthly payout for life usually isn't the risky option, it's the safe one. Because the real risk in retirement isn't dying too soon, it's living long enough that your money runs out first. Now, think about who actually benefits from the leave more behind mindset. Is it really the retiree, or is it more about how the decision feels in the moment, sitting at that kitchen table, wanting to feel like a good parent, a responsible provider? That instinct is beautiful, truly, But there's a quieter, more powerful way to be a good provider, and it isn't leaving behind a lump sum. It's not becoming a financial burden on your children in your 80s because your monthly income never runs dry. That, arguably, is the greatest gift a parent can give. Not what's left over after they're gone, what doesn't need to be given by their children while they're still here. So where does this leave us? Most Singaporeans don't make this mistake because they're bad with money. They make it because nobody ever properly explained the actual purpose of CPF Life. It gets lumped together with savings, with investments, with the government holding my money. So people apply savings logic to an insurance product, and savings logic says, I want my money back. But CPF Life was never designed to give your money back. It was designed to make sure you never run out, no matter how long you live. Once you see that difference, the whole decision looks completely different. Here's a simple way to reframe it. Instead of asking, how do I make sure I get back everything I put in, ask instead, how do I make sure I never have to worry about money in my 80s? Those two questions can lead to two very different choices, and only one of them is actually about your future instead of your fear. Now, to be clear, everyone's situation is different. Health, family circumstances, other assets, other income streams, all of that matters, and it's worth sitting down and actually working through the numbers using your own CPF statements rather than guessing. The exact figures and plan details should always be checked against the latest official information before you decide anything, because CPF Life parameters and figures can be updated over time. But the mindset shift matters more than the exact numbers, because once you stop treating CPF Life like a piggy bank you're trying to protect and start treating it like the safety net it was built to be, the decision becomes so much clearer. So here's the real question worth sitting with. When you picture yourself at 85, what actually matters more? A slightly larger sum left behind for people who love you, or never once having to worry at 85 whether you can afford next month? Most people, when they really think it through, land somewhere they didn't expect. Not because someone convinced them to think differently, but because for the first time, someone explained what CPF Life actually was. And once you understand the tool correctly, using it well stops being complicated. It just becomes common sense.